Thank you very much. And then I want us to start with a thumb up. Let me see a thumb up. Hold your hand up in front of the camera there. Thank you very much. There we go. And these are the parts of writing an essay. And if you remember this, writing an essay gets so much easier. So we're going to start with, what do you think is the first one, right? What do you think and why? Who's a good example and how? Connect and close. And if you had me last year, you know this, but most of us haven't had this. So let's do it one more time. What do you think and why? Who's a good example and how? Connect and close. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So those are the parts of an essay. Now you can turn your cameras off if you want, but I'd like you to turn on your mics. And I'd like you to say them with me because we want to get practice with this, because we want to memorize this. So whether we're seniors next year or in college the year after that, you're going to know exactly what to do when you need to write an essay. So turn your mic on and let's say these out loud so we'll remember them. Start with your thumbs up. What's the first one?
What do you think?
Good. Next.
Why is that important?
Right? And then who's a good example?
What is a good example? What is a good example?
Okay,
and give details. Connect. How is your example showing your opinion is true?
And then finally,
close. Give final advice / wisdom about the topic.
Very good. So once again, what do you think and why? Who's a good example and how? Connect and close. And that is all the parts of an essay. And if you just do it step by step, you'll be like, damn, that's easy. Somebody gonna say something?
That looks like the Jerusalem symbol, bro.
The Jerusalem symbol? What are you talking about?
Sorry, that was not meant for you, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. So so let me show you what I'm talking about here. Where do I have it? Okay, so oh, some people in the waiting room. So let's show how this works, and you'll see what I'm saying in just a second here if you don't already. Writing essays is easy, and let me give you an example here. So let's say our essay prompt was, what is the best food in the world? Is there a right answer to this? There's not, right? I may think something is the best food and you may think something else and somebody else may think something different. It's entirely your opinion, right? And most of the stuff you do in English class, it is just your opinion. But I'm gonna say the best food in the world, because that's my essay prompt, right? What's the best food in the world? Well, I'm gonna put the best food in the world is lasagna. Did I spell that right? I think I did. I am an English teacher. And then why? Why is that important? Why is lasagna the best food in the world? Let me think. What do I think? Lasagna is the best food because it's delicious and is very satisfying. Okay, so who or what is a good example? Well, for those of us that are thinking, this is our thesis, right? Lasagna is the best food in the world because it's the best, it's delicious and very satisfying. So this is my thesis. I'm going to use this to write the rest of the essay. So who or what is a good example? Well, you know what? I'm going to use the example of my wife. And my wife makes a tremendous lasagna. And her and my son made me lasagna for my birthday, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And it was just amazing. So that's who I'm going to write about here in my body paragraph, right? So I'm not sure, but I'm thinking it's about 3 years ago. Oops. And I would just go on and tell this story, right? And then I would explain and give details. It was made with spicy Italian sausage and ground beef. It had lots of cheese, and the flavor was amazing. And I would go on and tell it at like a story, right? But basically, look at this. I already have my thesis. I have my body paragraph. And then somebody mentioned we have to have a conclusion, right? So connect. How is your example, right? How is this showing that this is true? So I would write something like, my wife's lasagna was so delicious, it changed the way I think about food. It has elevated food for me, and I will always remember that day and that meal. And then what's my final advice or wisdom on the topic? If you haven't had lasagna yet, go get some. It will change your life. What was that?
Do you like your lasagna boneless or with bones?
Either way. But anyway, y'all get the point, right? How long did that take me? 5 minutes? And that's how rough drafts should be. You should be able to just get an idea and you go through the steps. Now, if you had to figure out the whole thing instantly and just write it, it would probably be more difficult. But you don't have to figure it out all at once. All you have to do is start with the thumbs up, right? What do you think? Why is that important? Who or what's a good example? And depending on what your subject is, you might write about, a restaurant. You might write about a famous chef, a TV show you saw, your great aunt, your tia Petra, who makes such incredible chicken mole, or anything like that. Depending on where you come from in your culture, you may think differently. But you give that example, you give lots of details, and of course, you're probably going to write more than this. I'm just going fast so I could show us in front of the class. You connect and you close, and boom, you've got a rough draft of an essay. So that's basically what we're going to be doing today. If you go into Schoology and you open up the rough draft writing, go ahead.
See, the way lasagna is spelled makes me want to explode.
Yeah, it's spelled funny. I had to stop and think about it. You open up your essay doc, and here's the prompt. If it looks familiar, it's because we talked about it last week, and this was kind of priming us for writing about this topic. What does being American mean to you? Well, what do you think? And you're going to reply, this is the easiest way to start, right? Being American means, and you continue with your thought. And then why is that important? You tell us why. And then who is a good example? Maybe your relative, maybe somebody famous. And then give details about that. Connect, and then close. And boom, you've got a rough draft written. Sounds like a plan? For those of us that are hard on ourselves, there's no need to be hard on yourself. You're a good person. You're a good writer. And you got to forgive yourself if your writing's not perfect. If you can't do a great job, Do as good as you can, and I promise you that's going to be good enough. Remember, you are smart, confident, and successful. And just let yourself try. If you let yourself try, your writing's going to continue to get better. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead. Let me stop screen sharing. Oh, actually, just a reminder, if you want to be reminded of what the steps are, in Wednesday's work, all you have to do is open this up. And there it is. All the parts of an essay. What do you think and why? Who's a good example and how? Connect and close. And you have this there anytime you need it.